Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil, episode 174. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge. We show you some of the challenges we're facing,
You okay?
like tripping over the backdrop. We show you what we're working on. We show you a glimpse of the future. This is the show where we want to hear from you. We want your feedback. We want your ideas. We want you to interact with us live. This is the show that is unscripted and raw. It sometimes is fraught with technical difficulties and will often go off in tangents. But mostly, this is the show where we spend the next 2 hours enjoying our frosty beverage, talking terrain, and hanging out with you wonderful people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I forgot the frosty beverages, Chris.
That's fine.
Woo.
There's a lot going on.
It is.
There's actually going to be, so speaking of feedback, it's probably going to be a bit less of a feedback stream this time. It's a bit of a special one. I'll wait for Nate to get back with his drinks and then
Frosty beverage.
Oh, wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this isn't the one
Yeah,
that
it's not the
killed us.
mayor, the dirty mayor. It won't murder you.
Yeah, the
hopefully.
dirty mayor was rough. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, hard
We
to imagine we're
also-
going off the rails, but here we are. We're
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yes, Letitia, as many of you noticed, we have special backdrops for tonight as well. Letitia made a bunch of them, and I've set up some different scenes than we usually use, just so that we have a chance to use all the backdrops. These are all backdrops made up of textures and pieces that Michelle sculpted, one of our primary sculptors. Because this is a stream that's all about her, basically.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so we're going to, the goal tonight, as a departure from our usual streams. I mean, not that we have like a standard template, but
We're
it's
really strictly regimented.
very regimented,
Yeah.
very scripted, very well maintained. The goal is to really focus on and celebrate Michelle's legacy and Michelle's work, and although it's a heavy topic and there's a pretty emotionally laden, I'm going to try hard to sort of focus on the joy because that's what she would want. So I guess we should end. Oh, we're doing giveaway, right?
Yes.
I feel like we should probably do like an extra, like what would be an extra Michelle-like giveaway or something? Like what's a
An extra Michelle-like giveaway would be like, oh, we'll give away some cattail prototypes or something that's like a big.
Right.
Do we have any left? I don't know if we.
We
don't
have
know.
a couple.
I don't know what we
What if
have in
we-
our
you
coffers.
know what we have? Hang on. You know what we
Yeah,
have
what's up?
that's. I've got a really.
He's out of here. He thought of something.
Yeah, we do. Oh, we have a moonlit arch. We have a sealed moonlit
Oh.
arch.
Oh.
Yeah. Let's get serious.
Oh wow. Okay.
Like, this is. If ever there was a time.
The Moonlit
Who's that?
Arch. So I'm going to reveal something. We actually have some other guests with us today. Some other people in the studio. I'm going to switch over to the overlay with the Moonlit Arch on it so that you can see them. Hello.
Wave gift.
Hi.
We got a
Toby and Miles
today.
are also here. Yeah.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah.
So to not bury the lead. So last we streamed 2 weeks ago. That was a tough stream. I didn't realize how heavy, like how much the emotion was going to hit me. I definitely limped through that. Thank you everybody who bared with us. So the big subject of that stream was both my father passing and Michelle going into hospice as she'd sort of lost her fight against cancer. For the last 5 years, she'd been battling cancer like an absolute warrior, working so hard right up until the end, just still sculpting, still tuning into dev meetings and just contributing, giving it her all right up till the end. And that she tuned in for that stream, which was pretty special. I didn't know that she was going to have the energy and tune in. So she and Chuck. Oh, Chuck is probably here. So anyway,
He is. He's been here.
MC Crime Dog is Chuck. So if anybody gets special treatment in the chat, it is Chuck. Um, so she managed to watch that stream, and it was very meaningful for her because she got to hear all the wonderful things that you guys were saying, and sort of a follow up second wave of messages on the Well Wishes channel on Discord. And then about 24 hours later, right, the next evening, she
Yeah.
passed in her bed with Chuck by her side, said their I love yous. It was like, kind of painless and peaceful and kind of, as good as can be for a bad situation.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very glad. I wasn't sure if I was even going to do the stream that night. It was my birthday. I'm really glad that we pushed through, and we did it. And she got to be there, and everybody that was there. It was really meaningful. Like, thanks for being part of it, and sort of sending her off in style. And that night, a number of people were asked to see some of her pieces. Right, she's had an unbelievable legacy here. Right, she's been sculpting here for, I don't know who can do math, but 10, 12, I don't know,
It
since
was
KS3,
yeah,
whatever.
I looked. KS3 was 2015. So I think it was
10 years
yeah.
and change. And she has a really prolific output in that time. So a bunch of people were asking, they weren't familiar with all of her pieces because it's spanning a decade. And I said, we'll do it next week, which of course is now turned into this week. And that is now turning into a tribute stream where instead of just trying to show some, the reason I didn't run out and get a bunch of the pieces that last week is I wanted to kind of do it right. I wanted to try and show the stuff in context and really try and showcase the breadth of her work. So tonight we have a couple of builds together. Eli has done a build, which we have some photos and videos of. Toby has done a build. I've done 2 builds. So we're going to look at a bunch of her work in context. We couldn't get every piece. Like there are so many pieces. It was too hard to get every single possible thing in there, but we're going to try and show as much of it as we can. And along the way, share some of the stories of creation, some of the trials and tribulations and some of the ideas and some of the things that didn't work out and some of the little details that you might not know about.
If you are curious about which pieces are hers, Chuck has put together a spreadsheet of all of them. I think it's over 200 pieces, and he's posted that on the Discord in the Well Wishes channel, which I've pinned it there. But also, if you have trouble finding it, I'm sure we can get that list to you. If you're not on Discord, if you have trouble finding that channel, if you wanted to know exactly how many of your pieces are Michelle sculpts.
Spoiler alert, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
She's touched every biome. Like she's done cities, she's done castles, she's done caverns.
Every single biome,
like all of it.
She has something sculpted in. So we're gonna look at her work. I was gonna start with a kind of an overview, show some like kind of select pieces through the arcs, and then we'll go to the actual builds. And the one ask is to try and keep the chat focused on Michelle and Michelle's work and Michelle's legacy. And really, the goal of tonight is to celebrate all of the joy and whimsy that went into these pieces, right? I mean, there's so many, every person is multifaceted, but one of the huge facets of Michelle was her joy for the work, right? She was a wellspring of creativity that never ran dry and was constantly trying to make it better, trying to make it more modular, trying to make it, is it something that people are going to get excited about? Are they going to see something interesting on the back that will tell a story? How do I tell a story with this piece? How do I make sure every millimeter of this piece is doing as much as it can? And she did so with joy, right? It wasn't this like labor. She wasn't doing it because it was like chained in the clay mines. She wanted to infuse every bit of her pieces with joy that would read on the table. So when you got it, and when you were painting it, when you were playing with it, when you were slapping it down in front of your players and everything, like you could feel some of that in the work. And she wanted to kind of give you give you those little emotions when you look it over and you get this, you find this discover this little detail, you get that little twinkle, that little excitement, or set you up for some devious reveal on the table, right? Of this is a hidden thing, or this opens, or this does whatever, trying to generate those moments that would bring people together, right? It meant this was a big part of her life. It's what brought her and Chuck together. Like, she wanted to continue to share that joy and infuse that into the pieces. So that is our goal today, is to try and explore all of the joy, all of the detail, all of the whimsy, all of the little surprises that Michelle put in.
Yes. So because of that, we're not going to be doing news. We won't be talking at length about projects or anything. Happy to answer those questions. Maybe I can answer some in chat or on the Discord or something.
We're gonna
But
next
we're gonna
week we
focus
can
on-
do a full catch up on all the bits we're on, whatever. Like, we have, we're not gonna disappear. We are here. We will be around. We can answer all that stuff. But tonight we celebrate Michelle and her amazing work, and just amazing. She's just an amazing person, right? Beyond like focusing on all the artistry and the talent, she was just such an amazing person to have in our orbit, right? As a very small, tight-knit a company of artists, like, each person's contribution is really felt, right? The ripples that each person makes really spread and collide with everybody here, and she spreads so much warmth and mischief and just cleverness and unique perspective. It was really just such an honor having her voice as part of our creative song. Woo! That came out okay.
All right.
How did this thing? I keep kicking her. Oh God!
I think you may have rolled the table back.
It's
further than usual.
I think it moved forward for the new backdrop.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
You want to go to the build?
yeah, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start. We're going back in time to, what year did you say Kickstarter 3, the City Builder system?
2015.
All right, the year is 2015. Although I guess we were prepping, it was 2014 when we were prepping it. So maybe we're talking 11 years ago.
That's fair.
So Michelle's first pieces were rather humble. Cities was in full swing, and her work was like blowing up the forums, right? This was back in the olden days where the forums kind of ruled everything, and these lady Sable Designs doing all this crazy fabric work and whatnot, and so we got her to do a couple of pieces to sort of see how it would all work out. And the first and foremost of them were these blue curtains, and that's being that, like, her specialty was fabric, especially draped fabric and moving fabric and whatever. She was really good at texturing it and whatever. And this thing was a bit of a heartbreaker because she worked really hard on these curtains, and then I think Stefan had given her the wrong size. It was off by like an eighth of an inch, and there was a mess, and it just absolutely got mangled at the factory, like, to try and make it so it would fit in the thing. And then there was weirdness with the paint, and like, it was really, her original sculpt was magic, and this is a poor facsimile of what the original, like, what was in the original essence of the thing. It's still a great piece. It's still whatever. But like, if you saw the original in, I think it was in baked sculpey. It was just, we lost a lot of the magic in there. And so it was also a good learning process in terms of communications with the factory and whatnot. It really sort of went off the rails, but she persevered. She didn't let it crush her spirit too much. She also did these little gargoyle corner posts, guys, were a bit, as well as you'll see in Toby's build. He's got she did the pheasant and the dragons on the pheasant fountain, figures on the top of the Bridge of Valor. It was a handful of pieces. Although she also sent she sent a dozen of these little tiny amazing bits that then like additive bits that could be similar to these gargoyles, right? Stuff that could be added in or put whatever. And Stefan lost or broke a bunch of them, or like they just didn't. Yeah, they never really made it to mainstream. Although you know what, one of them broke and then got shoved into the ruins. I forgot about that. There's a pile. The Fieldstone ruins pieces has a pile of rubble that has like a little golden dragon in there, and that was one of the pieces. It broke, so he's like, oh, it'll be in ruins, and it's broken and whatever. So I don't know where. There was a whole bunch of original masters that are lost to the ages.
It's in one of the Fieldstone Rebel piles.
Yeah.
Do you have one there, or should I?
I don't.
I'll go grab and.
Oh, Toby's got it.
Toby's got it.
Amazing.
Okay.
Thanks, Toby.
Awesome.
Yeah, everything was so fragile, this super thin sculpting. So one of her claims to fame is she was sculpting with a sewing needle, then just like staggeringly, thanks Toby, like staggeringly detailed madness. Yeah, here's like the shattered remnants of one of the pieces that just became a ruin because it was ruined. Like, yeah, you can't even get all the detail. So anyway, it was a rocky start, but she powered through like an absolute champion. And so then, so the next campaign was Castles, and this was a chance for her to really shine. So one of the concepts with Castles was that we were going to have sort of rather generic, like the castles themselves were going to be rather generic, right? So you could kind of use them for anything. But then the idea was we could have thematic decor that would attach to the castle that would give it an identity. And that is exactly where Michelle could flourish. So she did, originally I wanted to have 4 different themes. We ended up with kind of 2.5 different themes. And she did sort of a collection for each of them, all these bits. So we had these, let's see if I can get it to work here. We had these battlement covers, which I don't think we show these often enough, but they're these little clips. They have a slot in the back to fit over the battlements, and then they have these hooks so they can slide over the put-log holes in the tops of the walls and give some personality to your plain walls. There was also did I not grab
Something we need to fix with 3 comps.
Yeah, we get there. It was 1,000. This was these little I'll steal them from the build and I'll put them back on. These little guys, the like clip over the runic clip over these little guys. Ugh. Right, so then there were other ones that would just slide over wouldn't slide over the battlements, it could just be decor. And the idea with these things is they had a little, like they were so cool, we made, these were flexible metal so that they could theoretically fit over dungeon walls or castle walls, wherever. You could like use them as decor all over the place. So she did a runic theme, including a throne, and there was the little runic obelisk, which I'll show there. It's in the build, but I kind of wanted to show these in context, so we didn't have any actual castle stuff. Right. So there were runic theme. There was the flags and gargoyles theme, which is might need a better name, but that was the that one didn't really come into its own identity. Oh yeah, and there was
we did get a lot of the runic stuff in that Sorcerer's Sanctum dressing pack that we made last year, I think.
There was a crest for the gatehouse, right? So this was the runic crest, magnetic crest for the gatehouse, and this was one chance to cast it, and then it shattered in the mold. So we got like a because it was baked sculpey. So she did that was the runic bits. Then we had the flags and gargoyles, which was these. We got these flags, the blue boys, as well as this was the battlement covers. boom, boom, boom. Or the Aeroslit covers, rather. We never did Battlement covers. That would be... Well, there were shutters also. Eli did the shutters. I don't think I have a fourth one of that. A third one of that. All right. So anyway, so those could, that was yet another theme you could pop on there. Whoops. What are you doing, buddy? Oh, these weren't wide enough to fit on. User errors. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Boom, boom. Put those guys in there. Something like that, right? And then she did the and that one had the had this crest or thing. So like she worked so hard on all these decor bits, which then a lot of these have been really hard to get since, which is it's been a shame. And then the super popular Necromancer theme, which I think probably is super popular because everybody wants to do like the big bad guy castle, right? Like it's these were and this one was so fun with the sort of the chained skeleton theme that she did with all these skeletons are chained to crystals and hanging off. Boom. Whoops. That one really gave a very sinister look. And that one had the gatehouse, this really elaborate gatehouse crest, which was it was an absolute murder to cast, right, with these horns like curling around or whatever, and it was ended up having to, I think, break the skull off the back to cast it, to then reattach it to get it in. And then of course there was a throne to go with each, and we had the runic throne and the necromancer throne, and then the flags and gargoyles themed throne ended up getting pushed to Dungeon of Doom, which we'll look in a sec. So that was sort of in castles. She did a whole bunch of these thematic accessories, which really were a big hit and just brought so much character to the castle build. Like it was really, I think it really showcased her range. Oh, she did LEDs to go with each of these, right? There was a rune claw, and there was the runic one, and
did she do the wizard spire too?
Eli did the wizard spire.
Eli did wizard spire.
Yeah. Well, that's the fun thing is a lot of tag teaming. Eli did the shutters to go with the themes and some of the pole accessories. The nice just the general partnership. Like she was so good at working in and around with everybody else and supplying bits like, hey, here's a press mold of this texture I used if you want to use it for that, and the like. All right, so then the next campaign was while we're here, because I don't think we got these anywhere else. She did this really cool flaming barrel for the ammunition for the trebuchet, which Chuck designed. It was a great chance for him to use his Air Force engineering skills to design a working trebuchet. So it was a little tiny flaming barrel that you could fire off at your foes, which, once again, we got to get that thing printed again. It's been 1,000 years. So then we went into the Dungeon of Doom, and she did, once again, a lot of thematic bits, right? Like these dragon doors, which were such a classic Michelle thing. So many the amount of little tiny knot work all around the sides, all the runes around. She did the really popular, the ossuary nook that you could put into, once again, decorate out. Originally, we were going to have a bunch of different nook accessories that went into the vaulted dungeon walls to like change the look and feel, and that was so up her alley. And we ended up only doing this and the weapon rack, and the weapon rack didn't even like fit the nook exactly. Part of the challenge was the wall wasn't perfectly symmetrical, so getting the press, it ended up being a bigger challenge than it needed to be. But this thing she drew, correct me if I'm wrong, Toby, do you remember it was like, I feel like she was pulling from the famous French catacombs for a bunch of the bone, like the bone building that she was doing there. Yeah, this was a huge crowd pleaser, that whole set. And then she did one of the most ubiquitous, like the little gargoyle corner pillar piece, which just ended up going all over the place. She did this one in the Medusa one, and this was the throne that she'd done for the Flags and Gargoyles set we held and ended up releasing there, and called that Zaltar's throne to cap off Zaltar's game room, because we needed something in Zaltar's game room. And the big crowd pleaser bit was she did that miniature dungeon to go in our miniature dungeon. And in classic Michelle form, she sculpted this, which was supposed to be the this is the core set at the time. This is like the classic core. It was supposed to be like what you could build with the classic core. She also sculpted to scale a corner, a floor, and a wall in this size, and they were so impossibly small. Like you needed tweezers to like handle them. It was like we couldn't cast them. Like nobody was like the factory couldn't handle. Like nobody could. It was like just this was already kind of on the edge of being too small, and they were just the tiniest, cutest, coolest things in the world. And she knew that they were going to be impossible to do, but she wanted to do them anyway because they belonged. Like they were supposed to be. It was a set, and it needed to be, and like they were the coolest, tiniest thing you can imagine. I mean, it's this. Like just imagine cutting off the corner of this and turning. Like it was, yeah. They were really. It was really something. Yeah, so those were certainly inspiring. So then we go to Caverns Deep, and one of the challenges in Caverns Deep was trying to figure out these infectious mushrooms. Right, we had these the vile mushrooms, and it was sort of swerving all over the place there, but she finally cracked kind of what these things were going to look like, which was this. Those slimy little guys. And then a really neat bit was we needed the mother of all mushrooms, right? Who's the big boss monster of the mushrooms was this thing. And this was an absolute odyssey. So Drew started this thing and I don't know, was kind of going in circles on it for a while. So then passed it off, and I don't know if I have the order right, but I believe passed it off to Nina, and Nina did these tentacles and all the slime and kind of the pus coming out, and then passed it off to Michelle to do the base to make it look like the basing on these guys. I think it was that order or something like that. It was a tag team of the three of them, sort of all playing to their. Oh, Nina's here, yeah. It was Nina. You definitely pushed on this thing because I was like, it needs to be more gross. It needs to be more unsettling. And you're like, all right, I can get there. Pushed on it. I think you were doing this weird goopy. I believe this was you. It was like all these tentacles and goopy bits. You kind of Drew had started it, and then you pushed it further, and then Michelle did the basing. I think it was something like that. But it's kind of a classic example of Dwarven Forge collaborative workflow where we're passing stuff around, everybody kind of putting their different elements into the stew to kind of get the final thing that would take us there. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say like everybody's here. Nina's here, Hamster's here, Eli's here, Letitia's here.
We got all the finest people.
Yeah.
Here was just another random while I was looking at this. I remember she agonized over I had this plan for the mushrooms nesting really nicely into this 6x6 floor, and sort of painstakingly had mapped out like these spots and whatever and all this stuff. She like went to great lengths to try and make the footprints hit all these things. So at the end of the day, it absolutely didn't. Like you could just put them anywhere. Like they're just flat scatter bits. You can go anywhere. But I remember her really laboring to try and get it to line up like really perfectly with this floor and whatever. And I don't even remember how they actually ended up nooking in there because they ended up just sort of working anywhere. But it was sort of an example of our process of like really working on these crazy details that sometimes people don't notice or maybe aren't even necessary, but it's part of the process. So another really fun little bit in Caverns Deep was we were going to, as a sort of a fun Easter egg, have dwarvenite appear. So we'd kind of figured out in our guiding principles of Caverns Deep, it was dangerous and it was overhanging and it was wet, and then we had all these specific little things, like there will be little mushrooms that look like this, and there will be little mineral veins that look like this, whatever. And one of them was, hey, here and there, we're going to put some, on the purple star pieces, we can put dwarvenite. We were going to have like, what is, the mineral of dwarvenite will appear in game, and dwarves can mine it and make armor out of it or whatever, and yada yada. And we were like, what the heck does it look like? So Michelle had this idea that dwarvenite could look like little tiny polyhedrals, like a bunch of basically dice all jammed into a mineral vein, and sculpted a bunch of passes on it, and it looked really cool. And so that became our look for dwarvenite, is a bucket of dice like that. So she kind of figured out our look of dwarvenite, which is, and then got everybody kind of rolled it out and got to do their bits of dwarvenite on a bunch of the pieces. So when you see these little kind of like purplish polyhedral bits on the sides of some of the Caverns Deep pieces, those are dwarvenite veins, little tiny polyhedrals, inspired by Michelle. I don't think Michelle would be like, yeah, I think I can probably sculpt like a little D20 at this scale. Toby's just nodding. Yeah. In Hellscape, I didn't grab very many Hellscape bits. She did a bunch of really fun accessory bits. Once again, pushing the envelope on how much detail we could actually capture in dwarvenite. Right, just very, very elegant knotwork along the edges. Some of which it doesn't capture as clean. In general, the travesty of Michelle's pieces are we never can capture the level of detail that she could sculpt, right? It was just, even in resin, you lose a little bit of it, but it was, dwarvenite, we lost a little bit more. So it's really, so everything you see, as glorious and amazing as each of the pieces are, imagine the master was just like that much, 20% even like sharper and finer and just amazing. So just relentless, tiny, tiny detail and elegant little knotwork. Just the best. Then we went to Wildlands.
After Hellscape? Yeah.
And what did I grab for that? This was, I know it's going to be hard to imagine, but you see these ruins covered with like elegant knotwork and super detail? Yeah, that was Michelle. It's staggering. And the absolute madness workflow on this was, so she made a whole bunch of press molds. She made her bunch of her own little tools so that she could do these repeated patterns and knotwork kind of over and over again. And she sculpted these completely unruined first. So every single ruins piece, she made a completely unruined, pristine version of the ruins piece, and then made a casting of that in her Sculpey clay, and then ruined that so that she wouldn't have to, like, we have a couple variants on like this straight ruins piece, so she wouldn't have to go back to square one for each one. So she would use these, she was really a master of I call the analog cut and paste, where she would make a press mold or make a mold, a section of a thing to iterate it out and whatnot. So we have fully intact versions of all of these. And then she went in and painstakingly ruined each of them, and then added vines and tweaked. She didn't want it to just be a copy paste, so she would go in and often modify a lot of little bits, and just making sure each one felt unique and different, and had the human touch as much as it could all over the thing. And I was really excited with the paint scheme the hamster came up with on these pieces. Really did the sculpting justice, right? It was a hell of a challenge to make sure that we could give these a paint scheme that was fitting for the work and could capture the detail in the right way and was replicatable. And it was really it was a home run. Really a great collaboration. And then from there, we went into Lowtown, and I feel like this was what you got. What's it?
Reliquaries.
Oh yeah, there's reliquaries in between there. They're all in the build. We'll get to them when we get to them. That's a good reminder. Yeah, yeah. The whole Elven reliquary set we'll look at. It's in the last build, so we'll see that. So in Lowtown, I feel like this was really a peak for Michelle in that she got so much story jammed into the pieces she was working on in Lowtown, right? So these are some of the shining examples, like the Lowtown lamppost. We did a really nice. She did a write up for one of the updates. What are those called? Development diaries or something. Where they had a bunch of the team could write up some of the stories of how the stuff was developed. But there's a whole story on this, and we've talked about it before, right? If this is in Lowtown, the lamp oil is valuable. That means people are going to try and steal it. So that's why it's chained to the lamp is locked and it's chained to the wood, and then it's battened down to this, and the whole thing is kind of built haphazardly by people who didn't have necessarily a lot of time or money. So she really spent a lot of time thinking about how this is built, what the realities of it being in Lowtown would be, and put sort of as much story as she could into just a simple lamppost. And similarly with like the kitchen piece, it was a real showcase of her ability to tell a story with a sculpt, right? She wanted to put all these little trappings, right? Like what's hanging on the wall. Everything had meaning to her. It had purpose, and was trying to tell the story of this kitchen. And every little, I mean, she sculpted these things in full, and then would shove them in there, and just unreal. And I don't know where the grate is, but she realized she wanted this grate to be removable because it could be the same size as a trapdoor piece. So then it became an alternate. You got one? Yes, Toby. So it could then be like, this is classic Michelle. Is she was always looking for ways to give things modularity, right? So she's like, well, if I make it as a trapdoor piece, then this becomes something people can put into their trapdoor anywhere, right? You can go put it in your, right here. You put it in your castle tower. This is sideways. Or they can put it in their the Lowtown roof or wherever. I'm not gonna get it out again. Yeah. So she was always looking for, is there a way that people can use this in multiple ways? Like, how do we make this possible? And like on the back, for example, she sculpted these doors on here, and she's like, this could be, you could use this for a morgue or some sort of like, artificer's oven setup or something. She's like, the back of this, let's make the back usable, even though 90% of the time people are going to put it up against the wall and aren't going to see it. She's like, let's make that interesting and usable so that there's other ways to use this piece, especially because this piece, she designed it to perfectly fit in between in the walls of a tavern. So like, she's like,
A bunch of people in chat just going, pizza ovens.
Yeah, right? It could be like, exactly like that. I mean, that's what her hope was, is you'd look at it and you'd make a story. You'd see a thing, you'd be like, oh yeah, I could use this for whatever. I could see it like visual hooks on how can I tell a story with this thing. And then this, of course, just such an absolute amazing feat of engineering and sculpting, this secret door bookcase, right? The concept was, all right, secret door bookcase, do whatever you want. And instead of just like the simplest, like whatever, she made this crazy double-sided bookcase that has a removable bookshelf. And this was The shelf was supposed to be interchangeable with, she did another cupboard shelf that could also then work as a window insert. And it was too fiddly, all the too many bits, so they ended up getting glued in. But the idea was all the shelves would be modular and you could swap it out. It was like, it was gonna be murder on the factory. But like that was her level of like, can I make a lot of modularity? Can I put a lot of personality? Can I have a lot of ways to use it? And of course, can I hide? I can get it open. Can I hide a secret door in there that is like virtually invisible? And she engineered that whole thing out, had a working prototype, like just genius. Really, really great. It was such a great, like her goal was she didn't want people to be able to spot it when you put it in your build. Needed to be a surprise. And mission accomplished. And that was part of the reason she wanted to make these modular so that you could change them out, so that you could, you weren't, it was harder to spot it because it was different each time. Such a special piece. And then Cities Reforged. Do you have the well right there, Toby?
Here.
What do you got?
Can I share a bookshelf story quick?
Yeah.
I'm not come over. I'll share
Come on.
this.
Miles has got a bookshelf story.
Lowtown was when I really was starting to do like a lot of the making of prototypes and stuff. And I remember I was so excited when we got the sculpts in for the bookshelf.
Yeah.
And like, it was in pieces that I was gonna have to cast and assemble. But I ended up casting like just a bunch of extras of them because I knew that we would want them in builds, and two, like, if we have some extra of the resin prototypes, I have them. So
When they speak to your heart, like it's such a Miles piece. It's like, yeah.
one of the first pieces that I like, painted myself is this, and you can see there's like some bubbles in some of the stuff, in some of the places, because it was just a resin casting, and I cast a bunch, and these were like some of the best assembled pieces I could to like build one, and I just went all out trying to paint this thing as well as I could. And
gorgeous.
We
Miles.
couldn't, we didn't end up making a lot of the like modular shelves, but we did have the sculpts of them. So I
Yeah.
did cast them. So I have,
You have the modular.
I have some of the modular shelves. So,
So that's the
painted.
intention, right? Is there like all these little tiny fiddly.
The things to put in.
It's the best.
Yeah, it was one of the things I was so excited when these came in, and so
Well, and that was, once again, that was her intention. She wanted to ignite that excitement in people when they got the thing. Like that was her intended result. Was was that excitement? You get all again, and you want to go in and paint it and play with it and do everything. Like it's exactly a perfect case study of what she was trying to accomplish for the pieces. Can you do you have the well over there? If you bring that over. So then the last, well, I guess the penultimate project that she was working on. I take it back. The pre-penultimate. Wait, bring another well. So she did for Cities Reforged to her village. She did the old well here, and this was once again another cool collaboration. The roof, she did the top of with the shingles, and Toby did the you did the underside of the roof, and you did the windlass, right? It was a neat once again tag teaming in to help get the thing to realize its final form. And this is once again an example of her trying to tell a story in what it could be otherwise an innocuous well, besides all the sort of the little trappings of the buckets and the little hook to grab the buckets, where she sculpted these handholds in the back, right? There's these little tiny handholds in the back so that you could use it as a passageway down to a thieves guild or a secret old dungeon or whatever. And what's fun is she sculpted a couple of other things that ended up being held for the second half of Cities. So there was there's still some stuff to come of her work there, as well as she got partway through a final piece for Perilous Frontiers, which Nina is carrying the torch, is going to finish out. So there's still some Michelle magic to come, and we have there's some stuff. We still have some stuff in the archive. There's some stuff from the Hightown period. There was another roof thing that she was working on with you. There's some neat. There's still some other stuff. So her legacy will continue to kind of trickle out over time. We still have some of that there, as well as all of the amazing pieces that everybody already has. All right, so that was kind of the overview of the arc of the last 10 years. Let's look at some of this in context. So Toby, hold on. Here's what we're going to do. I don't know exactly how we're going to. Let's come over yonder, if you would, and grab that side. Okay. Good. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. What?
Just waiting for the loud crashes.
Yeah.
Release the second half of Cities. We will.
Get there.
It's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
Get a little in the middle.
I mean, if anything, if walking through some of this gives you any indication of everything we do takes so long. There's a lot of time and energy and thought about all these details and trying to get pack as much into each design as we can. And Michelle really was just such a standard bearer for that. Like, she really went above and beyond.
I appreciate you had the wide angle camera set up to catch when they trip over lighting stands. Yeah, it's really important that I have everything clearly documented for the.
That would have been
What's like the workplace injury thing called?
OSHA.
Yeah. For OSHA purposes, we need to have all this monitored.
All right.
Another table. We've got several
Modular tables,
here.
baby.
Yeah.
All right. So Toby,
Oh, sorry. Want to go.
the oven
here.
is.
Here we
You
go.
found it?
That's what I was trying to get to.
All right. You want to walk us through? What do you have here?
Okay, yeah, so I did a big, city build here. And showcase, since a lot of furnishing stuff. Left a lot of the buildings open. So you have city here, and then like up here, you have stone building. Made sure to get things like the Bridge of Valor, so I can get this.
Yeah. Why don't we start? Why don't you start at one? Why don't you start up front and let's walk through?
Makes more sense.
Yeah.
So you come in
There's
here.
a lot to take in.
Yeah, I overwhelmed for a second. Yeah, I went here to the Essential Tavern. So she did all. Yeah, we were talking about the oven piece
Yeah.
right there, and then she also did all the bar pieces, right?
Yeah. And one of the fun things with the bar pieces was, right, she's sculpting all these tiny little details in there. And the intention was you could use this inverted to be like kitchen cupboards or whatever, or flipped around like this to be a bar. And it was compatible with the old bar stuff. So it was like just wonderful Michelle details. Like how do we use this in a couple of different ways?
Yeah.
Ooh, and I forgot she had these doors, right? The speakeasy
Yeah.
door.
So cool.
With look at all the details, all the metal work that she's slapped on there. Those are bent nails, right? So these are big, giant nails that are hammered through and then bent down, showing kind of both how rough and tumble it was and kind of how ramshackle it was. Right, just trying to tell the story with how was this thing built. Unbelievable. Oh, and you've got the corner.
The corner
Bill.
that she did.
Love that little guy.
And the tables, that was another piece that was originally planned to have multi-purposes. It was originally supposed to be able to take off the top and bottom and can use that as like a plank of wood. It's like trash or.
This would then be a pole accessory.
Yeah.
piece holder, and then this was going to be like we couldn't figure out. It ended up probably being more trouble than it was going to be worth when we had a couple other plank options. But it was exactly the spirit of like always looking for how do we make this have a couple of options.
Yeah.
How do we make this interesting? How do we make this that people can use a bunch of ways? Oh, these the stools too, right? The idea was that this is a low town down by the docks, so the stools are cut barrels, right? So they're like, well, what would we have lying around? You'd have a lot of barrels lying around for shipping. So they turn the stools are all barrels with the back cut out.
Yeah, because
Great storytelling.
so you can either use those as like or like a rubble in the water.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was the idea behind that being removable to have like floating.
It's
planks. Yeah, that's
floating.
what it was.
She did these shutters too.
Yeah.
And there was such a neat the covered piece, which then also became a window insert. No, it's the window box that was also a window insert, was the closed version of these shutters.
Yeah, like these.
Yeah, those guys over here. Where are these? These guys. So the
And then you can see it.
oh yeah, we've already got in there, right? The inside is if you insert it vertically, it becomes a closed version of the shutter. So we didn't have to do a separate sculpt of just the closed shutters. She could like double dip,
And the flowers are removable, so you can use them outdoor.
which I did. I love the like pop of color. Yeah, look, you got it all over the place. So,
Just love the versatility of the piece.
so you got our ramshackle tavern, including the little the pool accessory.
And,
Where are we going next?
street and then to the elevated place, the portion of the town, like the rocks going up there, like it's that, like a little mushroom forests, just to showcase a bunch of those. And, like, so
And
yeah,
how
the
nice they
mushrooms.
look they give some, even though they're gross, they're a nice spot of color in the city.
Maybe these mushrooms are actually, good mushrooms.
Well,
Just
that's
never trust what you see just by look.
this is the goal, is that you use them to tell a story,
Yeah,
right? You pepper them around.
and scattered throughout are the garbage pieces, not the garbage,
Yeah, modular trash.
modular trash pieces. The short one and the long ones are throughout as well. And also the lanterns we were just talking about, and the wheelbarrow.
And the fun thing in the modular trash here is she had like the cart, right? The piece is the same cart that's over here. She sculpted a broken version of it in to the modular trash. Like she was trying anywhere she could put the same pieces that you'd see here scattered around the other bits would help make everything feel real, like it was one world where this you'd end up seeing the same textures and the same shapes sort of as you roam through the city.
Yep.
And the texture, the burlap.
I love that texture.
So good. All right, where are we going next? Where are you taking us?
Yeah, since I was talking about here, let's go to the front of this building over here.
Yeah.
So we mentioned the pheasant and the dragons on the fountain piece. And then front of that building over here, we already pointed out the
Oh,
pheasant, but you can use it sideways as like
Using a pull accessory sideways, I love it.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody do that yet, Toby.
also the gargoyle lamppost that we're talking about.
Yep.
Some of the roof stuff. She did these. These. And then
Oh, and this was another.
Yeah.
This chimney is a classic. Like she really wanted to have it feel personality, right? That kind of dilapidated, weird angle, kind of storybooky kind of feel. It drove Eli a little crazy, right? Because he's like, "There's nobody would build a chimney like that. It's just like it's too much work to build it rather than build it straight. It doesn't make any sense." But it had so much personality and it looked so cool that we threw logic out and went with what was going to sort of visually tell the story.
Yeah.
It wasn't wrong. It doesn't make any sense, but it just feels
Sometimes
yeah.
it's better if it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Use the roofs and this piece.
Oh yeah, this is great.
The rake soffit piece. This was the rake soffit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the soffit peak. I think
Soffit piece. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So I did the roofs, but for the rake soffit piece, Michelle and I collaborated together, where she did the elaborate front side of it, and then like I did the roof tiles on top.
You did all the shingles.
Yeah,
She
the
did the
shingles,
front.
yeah.
You merged it together. Did you do this texture, or was that Michelle? Do you even remember?
I did it. It's been a while,
Yeah.
but I think I did that. But
I think you did.
Yeah.
Was my recollection.
There
I
was
think
another-
she did the wood first, sent it over here,
Yeah.
and then you built onto,
Yeah,
put the
that's what it
shingles
was.
onto it. Yeah.
and then we also have a version of that in
There's a
You
fancy
mentioned it, yeah,
Hightown
the
version
Hightown
of this that
version
you
that,
guys had worked on.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a collaboration as well.
Yeah.
And of course, I put the raven from the was it the Raven Spheres from
Yep. From Dungeon of Doom.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pieces that she did. It's just so fun, put like birds everywhere. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, they just look so neat.
yeah, they're just so
And that,
cute.
so that little raven, so the Raven Sphere from Dungeon of Doom, I think that this was the third or fourth version. She kept trying to get it doing mantling, right? That sort of like part, like the wings were just swooping out and everything, and she wasn't happy with the anatomy. It just wasn't landing. So finally she did this because we ran out of time. She's like, I just have it perched. But it was like, she tried so hard to get it in this very dynamic pose, and just wasn't happy with where it was. And that was a classic Michelle of just, she was never afraid to go back and try a sculpt again. Like she's like, I think I can top it. I think this isn't right. I think I can do a better version. Just kept relentlessly trying to make it as good as it could be.
Yeah.
What do we have next? Where are we going?
So up here, I left the top floors of this open up so we can see some of the pieces that she's worked on. This was the fireplace from Lowtown.
No.
And there's the table again. Were these from Cavern's Deep or
The curtains were from
No,
Lowtown. The alembic was from
these?
Cavern Steep.
Yeah,
From
that's
the
what I thought.
Poisoner's Bench. She had
Yeah.
that whole collection of just crazy detailed.
Yeah, those pieces are so tiny.
Yeah.
Look at these mushrooms. The tiny, tiny mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, it was trying to find the right balance between pieces that were removable and fiddly and pieces that were too small, and like where's the line?
Yeah.
And some of them ended up gluing some of them down to the tables to make them permanent, and some of them stayed freestanding and became little tiny accessories.
Yeah.
So you have the a whole row of the gargoyle inserts that she did. She's so good with those little tiny gargoyles. I mean, if you've seen her house, it is dripping with gargoyles, so it's no surprise. Yeah.
Got the
Secret door bookcase.
case in here that leads up to secret room of just the runic.
Pull off. Can you pull off the front wall?
This.
Yeah. Maybe both front walls.
Yeah.
Using the runic accessories in there to make your like secret lab. I love
Yeah.
it.
Got the sword.
Yes. And then what do we have
This
over
way,
here?
Yeah. By the Bridge of Valor, which mentioned earlier.
See those little tiny figures. So good. Oh, you got the flag. This was, if I'm not mistaken, she used beads. She loved finding different decorative beads and would often incorporate a decorative bead into her work. So I think that the base of this was a bead, which she then capped off and worked the flag texture around.
Did you do the castle LED, the gatehouse LED?
No, that was Josh Chunick.
Oh,
Yeah, he did those. He did 2 LED pieces for us. It's one of them in the regular torch from.
that was like, I was using weird.
That was a
visual-
metal
yeah.
thing from Michaels or something. Yeah,
Okay, this was
the little
my bad.
sconce. Yeah, but same approach.
Yeah. The arbalest in there got the barrel of arrows.
This barrel of arrows, another example, Michelle. Like the assignment was like we need a barrel of arrows to go with the arbalest, right? So like ammunition, and she didn't want to just make a barrel. She's like, well, what would they also have? There's like one queued up and ready to go, and I can't remember. She had some logic, but it was like in the bag. It was like wax for the string and a crank or something. But it was like she's like, I got to tell a little story with this. Like, what are all the things that you would need if you were going to run an arbalest? She's the one that taught me the term arbalest. I was like, I don't know, we just like a big ass crossbow. And she's like, that is a arbalest. I'm like, that was such a cool with little gear on the side.
Like the guy in Halo.
Has a gear on the side?
No, the arbalist.
I don't get it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm not. She did that hoist.
It's after your time.
It's after my time.
Yeah.
And then we have down in the room. Oh, we have the magnetic tool rack back there. Oh, such another good. The way this thing lines up.
Oh yeah. Just
Yeah. Flip it 180.
oh, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right, so she made the tool rack so that it then could sit up against the bar, and then you could flip the
So
bar around this way if you wanted to have the bits exposed. Like, once again, just trying to make all the stuff modular and interchangeable in ways that you can use it multiple ways. Like, just so clever. Such a great little problem solving. Like, every little bit is like, well, is there another way, another thing I can do with this? Another thing I can do with this.
I love that tool rack. I like y'all in the room know, like I've been like just teaching myself how to sculpt as like a fun hobby. And one of my favorite things that I've done is like make wall facades that were like inspired by that tool rack.
It tells a
So,
story, right? You
yeah.
see it and you're like, these are, yeah.
It's a nice piece to like. It's a fun thing for like me practicing sculpting to like just do a thing that's gonna add character, so I can just throw any ideas and stuff. And so I get a lot of inspiration for things that I want to try and push myself towards through looking at Michelle's pieces.
Yeah.
Is one of the biggest inspirations for me deciding to try and learn was just getting to be so close and surrounded by all of these pieces that I adore.
And that was the desired intention, right? To inspire, like, when someone saw it, make them want to paint, or make them want to sculpt, make them want to put it in a story, make them want to use it, like, make them figure out, like, just sparking joy, sparking stories, sparking excitement. It's so many fun little
Yeah.
bits in there. And then there's we got this guy who didn't do the guy up front yet. Also what's our last bit here, Toby?
That's the LED floor cover, a piece from Castles.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So we have several ones. One of them was a fountain, and yeah, it's really cool. Kind of so much more detail. It has like even the water spilling out of it is clear, so the LED can.
Well, her
shine through.
hope and her dream was that these would carry light up, right? So they're essentially bent fiber optics, and the hope was that when light would hit the bottom, it would carry up and it would really kind of glow, and so it would sell this sort of magic fountain thing. It never really carried as much light as we wanted to, but it
Yeah,
didn't
light-
stop her from trying.
The
Yeah.
light needs to be like directly
Shooting
on it,
straight up,
but
yeah.
it's so cool that.
Yeah, but it was the intention, right? She had the idea,
Yeah.
like this, how do I make this feel glowy and magical and cool, and the effect is still neat, right? Like it
Yeah.
still just looks cool as is, even if it's not going to carry light up as well as we were hoping. And pull accessory holes all around so you can decorate it up, accessorize it. Just always looking for little ways to inject wonder into the bits. Light puck would probably make it glow like a champ. You're right.
Yeah.
This was predated the light puck by like 5 years. It's 8 o'clock. We should do a giveaway.
Yeah. Do we want to reset table while that happens, or what do we want?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do 2 giveaways, right? Let's do our standard gift certificate, and then let's do the Moonlit Arch.
Okay.
We have
Okay. So,
such an amazing piece.
do we want to use the same word for both, or everything?
I don't know what's easiest. You tell me.
It's easiest to just do one and then roll it.
So let's just do one.
Okay. I thought an appropriate word to use here would be minuscule.
Minuscule.
So if you want a chance to win, we're gonna do the gift card first. So I think it's exciting to build up to the big thing.
Yeah.
So first $50 Dwarven Forge gift card. Everybody is eligible for this. I guess we gotta figure out if Moonlit Arch has to be US only.
Yes.
Ooh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and type minuscule into chat if you want a chance to win a $50 Dwarven Forge gift card.
Does that mean we're gonna have to? Because not everybody can like.
I'll just have to. Oh man, somebody's got to tell me if they're. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'm gonna think on it real quick. really threw a wrench into things. I'll probably just wipe the. Well, we probably will just have to do the word again, honestly. If we just want to make sure. Well, because somebody can still. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's Jay's problem. Crab Battle says one of his players saw the tool rack during a battle, ran up to it, and instead of taking one of the weapons off it, took the whole rack off the wall and used it as an improvised weapon.
Amazing. Wait, that's the dream, right? Is your players see your build and see some nonsense in there, and they're like, "All right, let's go to town." Turning this into a full WWE experience.
Yeah.
So good.
All right.
Those are the moments that she was dreaming of.
Oh, minuscule. I'm not wrong, am I? Minuscule is MINISCULE. It's like minuscule. It's not. Yeah. So if you typed MINU scule, retype it with 2 I's instead.
Retype it right.
Harder to spell. Yeah, I probably should have said some. But yeah, if that's what you did, retype it with 2 I's.
Oh, we should. We also have Eli's. We have Eli's build.
We do. I wasn't sure when you. I mean, everything is queued up for whenever we want.
Let's do that next. So, Eli wanted to participate, but is up in Vermont. So he built a build up there using pieces, his favorite Michelle pieces. The challenge being it has to be pieces that he'd actually finished painting, because he hand paints all his pieces and it takes him a really long time. And he I don't know if he ran her through it. I think he ran, because he said she rolled a 20. He ran his daughter through a little adventure on it, and she rolled her first nat 20 and got like really, really excited. Had a great time. So do you want to show them the he did a 2-minute walkthrough video or fly-through video where he explains what it is. Then we can show the picture of Saren.
I think it is easiest to do the video and then go to the pictures after.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go to that real quick.
Just showing a quick build.
Okay, we're redoing it real quick. Apparently the sound didn't go through. It told me sound was going through. I'm gonna
Huh? It's
I'm
going
gonna,
through
I'm
here.
gonna-
That's sweet.
yeah, it's coming through here. I'm gonna run it again, and we will let me know if this does it instead.
Hey, it's Eli. Sculpts. This is an exploration encounter somewhere.
Okay, I figured out how to fix it. Ignore me. We're going in.
Take 3.
Ignore me. Here we go.
Hey, it's Eli. Just showing a quick build I did to demonstrate some of my very favorite of Michelle's wonderful sculpts. This is an exploration encounter somewhere in a wasteland, an ancient elven site of power. Here's our adventuring party representing Chuck and Michelle, and then 3 characters I adventured with them on in various D&D games and Pathfinder games. Starting with a hedge maze here, one of my very favorite bits of Michelle's work. Making your way through the maze, you find a druid's cart. You eventually reach the moonlit arch, which leads you into the inner elvish sanctum. Here we've got several ancient sculptures of power. This fountain surrounded by beautiful statues, and then a head on a pike. The first clue that something's deeply amiss here. Go through the warded door into this upper section where the druid will attempt to poison you with a poisoned feast laid out on the lovely table from Zaltar's game room. Got some flickering lanterns. We got the curtains. Behind the curtains, this painting showing Chuck and Michelle's favorite minis. Gives you the clue to get through the panels in the wall to reach the back area underneath this phoenix egg. We've got a storeroom full of all sorts of supplies. We've got the druid's lair here with the throne, the poisoner's bench, and under the badger hide, this trap door, which leads you down to the final encounter here in the basement where he's been working his evil spells to the old gods. The golems will come from the walls to attack. There's an altar, magic circle, an obelisk, those wonderful serpent braziers, and the various wall and pillar pieces that Michelle did.
Thanks, Eli.
Yeah.
It's so fun. It's really cool to see your painted pieces, right? A lot of them have a distinct look that's different from the factory scheme. And 2, it's so cool seeing her pieces used to tell a story, and seeing the next generation playing on and enjoying said story. It's just the best. It's so cool. I like that you put marbles in the reliquaries. I'm assuming those were marbles. It was really good. It was a good use of bits. Yeah.
Should we go to the photos?
Yeah, a couple of cool highlights.
That was this big overview photo. That was pretty
That's
cool.
gorgeous. Look at that. Right?
Yeah. It's that shot going through the hedge
big.
maze. Any other really cool?
You have this shot with Saren playing. Like that's what warmed my heart. It's just seeing like
There we go.
that's right. That's
what it's all about.
Yeah. Just sitting, playing a game with your friends and loved ones, telling a story, using these pieces to have an adventure. So good. I love that.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
Thanks. Should we do we roll the first giveaway?
We should. Yeah. All right.
And then we can queue up the second one.
71 of you were entered, so I'm confident that the word worked. All right, I'm gonna roll the gift card right now. Dragos, congratulations.
Yeah. Minuscule
Dragos, I'm pretty
odds.
sure I have got your. I mean, I've got your info. You've won something before.
It's so nice when like a first time viewer wins, you know. It's just
Yeah. I think he just got his first set.
Yeah,
yesterday.
this could help him get his First piece is a dwarvenite.
All right, and then I guess let's start a new one.
For the Moonlit Arch.
Start a new one for the Moonlit Arch. What's a different word?
Chuck, do you want to give us a
Yeah,
do
Chuck,
you want to give us a word for the Moonlit Arch? And this is a pretty big deal. This was a limited edition run. We have lost that since then. The resin factory has closed, so like I don't think we're ever gonna make this again. We did one run and that's it. And it's a I don't know. We made a 500 or something. That's it. They're out there resin piece. It's a real pinnacle of Shell's work.
People overseas are wondering if they can offer to pay for the shipping and taxes.
Sure.
That'd be fine, right?
Absolutely.
That'd be
Absolutely.
fine?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. So
Like here's the thing. The spirit of this is we want everybody to participate
Yeah.
because like everybody has been part of Michelle's legacy, right?
Oh, Chuck. Okay. All right. Chuck has given us a word.
Rabbit,
so
not
if
at all
you-
biased, is excited for this decision.
So, if you want a chance to
you
win
wish.
the Moonlit Arch, and you're either
Wow.
in the U.S. or international and willing to pay shipping and the taxes on it, go ahead and type "as you wish," all one word, into the chat.
Good
we will-
choice, Chuck, man.
Yeah, and then we will.
And Neofoya, that's so sporting to sit this out because you already have a Moonlit Arch. That's really,
Yeah.
that is, once again, I feel like that's the spirit of Michelle. Sharing with others that don't have it. So let's look at some other pieces in context.
Mm-hmm.
We're listening here. So, trying to get as many kind of different accessory bits into a dungeon as I could. So we have we're starting with the warded door, which I saw Toby, you snuck this in on your build too. This was such a cool. It was our first like real style door, and Michelle did such a good job with it. Did the other which one? Where is that? It's hidden. Oh, of course, yeah.
I love that one because there's the claw marks on the bottom.
Yes, is like we'll look at it in two shakes when we get on over there. No, it's 1,000% a great story. I love it. You're on it. This is the golem, or the gorgon that she sculpted, and this was exciting, right? The gorgon and the golems were the sort of the first big figure pieces she did in Dungeons and Doom. So it was really fun for her to kind of stretch her muscles there and work on anatomy. The over here we got the, let's get in here. So a bunch of these little using that same table. I think Toby used this and Eli used this. That's the fancy table from Zoltar's. As well as these are. So this is a great example of Michelle doing. She loved to put gems into pieces where she could, right, to get that little sparkle that they would just catch light in such a cool way. Gems and chains. I think she liked to stick in pieces where she could. So this collection of gems was a great example of that, where she put these little divots in to put the gems, so you'd really see the hope was you put this on the table and your players would catch that gleam and be like, oh, treasure, I got to we got to beeline for that. Same with this little satchel. I don't know what all the little details the stuff that's in there. There was intention to the stuff that was in there, and I don't remember what it all is. But once again, tiny little storytelling bits. We have the poisoner's bench in here again. Same bits that Toby was using. Is such a great. If you want to make a little workshop, fill up those things. Those poisoner's bench works so well. The dissected frog on there is like peak Michelle.
Is that one of the things that gets caught in customs?
Yeah, that and the lizards. The alembic is such a fun little little decor you put over. And this thing, this was from Plaguestone, the Hellfire Furnace that she did, is such a cool, right? She did that perfect sort of mix of how do we make this thing feel like it has intention, but it's also a bunch of kind of fantasy artifice nonsense, but then also has such style, right? By having the heads that hold up the cauldron be dragon heads. It's got runes on the side and alchemical symbols. Like she really tried to pump it full of details such that it would feel real and cool wherever you put it. And then another neat hamster paint scheme, right? Trying to figure out how to make these tanks feel like they were bubbling and full. That stuff. Great. Once again, another great collaboration. She's just such a good collaborator across the boards. The construct wall again, right? This golem is this gag is one of our best gags at, thanks, Chris. Best gags at conventions when you show it to people and whatever, right? When they see the wall and then the construct pops out and you put the animated one in there. It just every time it gets people at the table. It really is. It's just such a fun moment. Was again peak Michelle. I mean, obviously this is all peak Michelle, but that one is just such a great reveal, and the seamlessness by which that fits into the wall. It's so cool. She did this fire pot was in Dungeon of Doom. Another really fun bit. She put little tiny skulls on the handles to try and give it some extra character. Love that thing. Over yonder, we've got more Michelle bits. The little tiny Doom's Compendium here, with she made the base's hands holding the thing up to make it extra creepy. Could have just been a plain piece of wood, but no, she had to had to give it character and style. This was the Doomstone from the trebuchet, right? So this was we needed a magical piece of ammunition. She made this cool spiky rune inscribed thing. Once again, we gotta reprint this thing. This is way too hard to get, and it's such a cool, weird. I use this as a MacGuffin all the time. Such a cool, weird device. Cryptic key pedestal. Look at it once again. Tiny, intricate knotwork, and she managed to get a little key on there, which even though it's as big as a person's head, to scale, it feels to scale and right on the thing, and then implies a puzzle, right? She's got these little tiny runes and these holes and the whole thing, designed it to look like it could be a puzzle thing or mystic, who knows, trying to ignite a story when you see it. And then this was the Greek fire projector that she did in castles, and this fits in the slots for the shutters. And she did, once again, above and beyond. I said just make a Greek fire projector, but she made removable, the fire removable, so that you could pop in or pop out the fire. So you have some options. And I put this thing on the Hellfire furnace all the time. Once again, she just crafted a bunch of crazy, who knows how it works, but it feels like it does work. And it's got magic crystals on the front. And we're really good at trying to make it feel believable, right? Make it feel real. And I put it on top of the fireplace because, I don't know, it felt like it was a funky device. Same fireplace Toby's using. But because she made, right, it has a mantle shelf that's removable, so you can then make it feel more dungeony or more homey by putting on the mantle shelf or putting the taxidermy dragon head on there to put it over your thing. It was just, once again, giving you options. She's trying to find, and spoiler alert, at some point there's another thing that she sculpted to go with that intended for Hightown. That is, some point, people, you're going to be very excited when we get there. She has a really cool thing that's designed to go with it that takes the story to another level.
A lot of people don't know that the fire projector existed.
Yeah.
I don't think we had it in many packs, and
it was in one pack, and I don't think we reprinted it.
It's just in the siege equipment. Yeah.
The cool weapon rack that she did, trying to give every single weapon personality. I mean, this is just I mean, she just looked over in the corner of her house and sculpted what she saw. 'Cause
Yeah.
they have more weapons in that house than like than an armory. It's unbelievable. It's really yeah. This is so good. And just even on the sides, right? Instead of putting anything sides plain, there's just a short bow and a shield and a sword hanging on the side, right? Trying to cover every bit of it. And this is designed to fit perfectly. See if I have one here. Right. This is designed to fit perfectly in the Nookum, the vaulted dungeon from. Oh, this thing keeps sinking. From Dungeon of Doom.
Their house is wild. Chuck mentioned earlier that door she sculpted in Lowtown with all the nails on it is just based on an actual door.
One of their doors in
in
their
their
house,
house.
right?
Yeah.
Of course it is. Like, yeah.
It's just got a bunch of nails in it.
This power core she sculpted as part of the Plague Stone line. Worked really hard to try and get this cut out so there'd be a kind of cool negative space with the light coming through the backside. And I don't have where's the base? I had she sculpt the base that she sculpted to go with. Oh, it's up in the other side. We'll get to the base on the other side. This was such a fun gag. So this was in Caverns Deep. This was a collaboration with Felipe. Did the art for this. This is the Dwarven door, right? So it has a fire and an anvil shape in the kind of Art Deco style. It's cool Felipe art. And then Michelle did the design for the back. And then stealing a gag from Eli had done this really cool Giant's door in his Griffin Tamer Kickstarter and had like the door and then the ruined version of the door. So we stole the same gag and did so Michelle made the doors, made a casting, and then cast them and heated them and bent them and shattered them and did the really cool the broken door gag so you could swap it out using the same doors. Such a fun once again you can have a monster bust through it, or the players are in the room and then they come back later and the door is destroyed, or it's already destroyed when they get there and they have to figure out it tells a story. It's such a neat way, and having a broken and solid version of the doors is fun. I've certainly used it in my bits, and that's the griffin she sculpted in Castles. Come on over here. So this is what Toby was talking about earlier. Is a great another great Michelle story moment. So she sculpted this. This was a warded door. We had kind of a series of warded things. We had a warded door, warded trapdoor, wall ward in Dungeons of Doom. So she put all these runes on in this cool metal trapdoor. And then, as Toby was saying, like the great storytelling moment, she put claw marks on the bottom, right? Someone trapped under there and killed. Was there a creature locked under there? Like what's the little story? Just trying to ignite a story in your mind with these little details, right? It just could have just been a plain bottom of the thing, but she wanted to give it some life, wanted to give it that extra little mile. Just there's no off button. Like it's just everything was like, what else can we do? What else can we do? Intricate, crazy knotwork and glowing crystals. This was the runic themed platform in Castles. It was to go over the lighted thing. And this, once again, was supposed to, you can sort of see from the bottom, right? It was supposed to carry light up through those crystals and never really did draw the light up. I bet if we throw it on the light puck, it'll work like an absolute champ. But at the time, it didn't really. I think we did it in one of those.
We did that in, I think maybe a light puck hands-on video. We did something where we put a bunch of different toppers over it, and I think this was one of them.
That rings a bell is true, but it was another example of her working really hard to try and make it amazing. And even though the technological limitations were there, it didn't stop her from like pushing and giving it everything she had to try and get all that stuff in there. We've got over yonder we have these chained crystals that she did for Caverns Deep as our cool MacGuffin bit. And just intricate little. She loved doing magic circles and sort of that sacred geometry stuff. So there's a really cool magic circle in the back there, and this delicately chained crystal on there. Such a neat magnetic accessory. And then actually drawing from that same thing, she did this pool insert.
Which that was one of the big things people were excited that we kind of freed up in a pack that was easier to get in
Yeah.
Dungeons Reforged.
This was hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool little same thing, that sacred cool magic circle in the center, intricate detail and crystals all around. Such a cool visual centerpiece. And one of the few things that I don't think explodes glitter all over the place, like even though it's laden with glitter. And then
Spoonbender's wife says she absolutely loves the pool insert. A lot of people are saying they love the pool.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just is like there's a story waiting to happen there. And then in the center of the pool we had this is the orb of the Overlord. So this is one of the tiny treasures she made in Cavern Steep, and this was
I can see glitter on your finger now.
yeah, I'd say it doesn't explode everywhere, but look at it. There was a guy in the forums that did these unbelievable posts called the Invincible Overlord, and he passed away during Cavern Steep, or we found out about it during Cavern Steep. So this was the orb of the Overlord was in honor of him. So a dragon curled around an orb, perhaps to see the future or the past. This was the in castles, that runic theme. This was another piece of the runic theme family that she did, and that sort of the culminating bit was the throne. Right, she did this really cool kind of floating. She was trying to make the illusion of the thing floating, and she put chains on there. The problem was the factory couldn't get the chains. They were supposed to have more tension. The idea was the chains were supposed to feel like they were holding the throne from floating away, and it didn't. They needed enough slack to put it together that they couldn't get them quite tight enough. But it's such a cool illusion, such a cool piece. It looks like there's a magic card, Sigil of the Empty Throne. Right? It doesn't look like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's. I love that card. So yeah, she sculpted the entire back of the thing, even though you're supposed to look at the front. She filled it full detail so that you could then kind of slide it up against the wall or wherever and use it as a MacGuffin or something if you didn't want to use it as a throne, giving you an option. Once again, just trying to find more ways for you to get the pieces on the table, or just more options, more storytelling options for you. She did these were the runic LEDs she did also in castles, and it was such a shame. The purple light, the wavelength is such that it just never looks bright when it's on, even though like that's at full brand new battery, full intensity. It's hard to tell that it's there, but it was such a cool. It's supposed to be this cool glowing purple thing, and it never really had the impact it wanted to because of the choice of LED color.
Chuck's right. Those ones are particularly easy to plug in upside down.
Yes, you have to put the V up right side up on the top.
Very symmetrical.
Yeah, that was when we learned that we needed to better indicate an up and a down. And then we proceeded to not for the next one. I'll show her the piece that was also upside down all the time of hers in Dungeons. All right, so then over here we've got we're using their ossuary arch inserts, right, to just kind of bone up this whole area, make it feel necro style. We've got her.
I'm boning up necro style.
It's my new single. It's dropping soon. We got the skeleton decor from castles, and these were these plinths. Oh, these things were so sharp they could like cut you. In her original sculpts, razor sharp. That was one of her things. Like when she did the hedge maze, it was like cutting up her fingers because the thorns were so sharp. with the skeletons on there. She's got these bidents in Hellscape, and this was another learning of be careful about how thin we make stuff because it has a tendency to bend, which is always trying to push the envelope. Here's another great one. In the back here, the manacle. So the assignment was make some cool manacles that we can stick to the wall. And not only did she make manacles, she made a little tiny. They were 2 parts so that you could get them over the miniature's limbs, so they would be functional, because it was very important to her that the manacles be functional. And then instead of just being like a plate bolted to the wall, she made this really cool, weird kind of orc face or whatever. Like, once again, wanted to make it a thing that could then become a story, or it had style beyond just like a metal plate on the wall. So took it as an opportunity to do something that then might ignite a story in people's minds. And then probably one of her the most popular pieces from Castles was the Necromancer's Throne. Right, it was this was the culmination of that, the chain skeleton theme with the crystals and the chains or whatever, like cool backbone right up the whole thing. Like such a cool, and this was like the chase piece in the Necromancer's Keep for a while, where it was like it was hard to get for too long.
Both the
Till Dungeon
Necromancer and the
Forge.
Sorcerer's stuff, or the Runic stuff, we eventually got back out there. Like a bunch of you were getting the
Yeah.
Necromancer stuff now. Like that was part of Dungeons Reforged.
Yeah,
Was
finally
this dressing pack.
freeing a bunch of this stuff up. What was wild too is we never made that drawbridge. Eli made a drawbridge as part of that set that we then held until we got to Hellscape. That thing sat like, there are often things will sit in the vault for a year or 2 or 5 until the time is right to get it back out and whatever. And then she did this such a cool another upside down LED piece of the time, this wall ward. So this is there's a rune stone in there with tentacles like holding it up, and this thing nobody can figure out which way is up on it. It was another learning experience. That the other problem is the light ended up not carrying as well as it should. Her first one she did this rune stone in the original Castles, but you couldn't see the rune, but it glows like a champ. So this one we sort of swung hard the other direction to try to make the stone opaque and just the rune glow, and it ended up sort of burying the light. So we didn't find the perfect Goldilocks zone for that style thing yet. But Michelle has done the majority of our little LED wall elements. Probably 85% of them she sculpted. And then our final, let's go up here. Yeah. Our final bit of dungeon bits we have in the center.
And then we will roll that giveaway once this is clear.
So we got her portcullis she did, which I think this was also inspired by something in your house, Chuck. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? Crazy.
It's the bathroom door.
Yeah. Crazy, spiky, ancient portcullis, and another great vehicle for paint. That nice rusty look, so conducive to it. This was the runic obelisk from Dungeon of Doom. She did the serpent braziers, also from Dungeon of Doom. I can go up higher for this one. Oh, this I forgot about these.
Just gonna stop people from getting motion sick real quick.
All right, we should be clear now.
Yeah.
Serpent braziers. This was their little treasure pile. So again, she didn't want to just make a pile of coins. She's like, I want to put a gem in there and a skeleton and a little tiny chest and a bunch of stuff that hopefully then you can use to tell a story or make it look that much more exciting and interesting. This wall for the Forsaken Temple. So Stefan really wanted her to do an erotic temple facade And she's like, "You are out of your mind. Like, what do you like? No, yes, just because I have the capability doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. Like, get out of here." So she did this really cool thing instead.
We do still have the erotic dressing pack slated for Hightown, so
The
you will see
highest
it
of
coming.
Hightown.
Yeah.
The super stretch goal though. We need to break like 4 mil.
It's Hightown.
Hightown.
God.
Hightown. There was something on the back here. There's a whole series of runes, and she had like some. I feel like she was in. This was inspired by the like a Mayan calendar or something. I don't know. She had. I can't remember what it was. She had something that she was drawing for this. She wanted it to feel like. Once again, this is the back of the wall, right? This is like she wanted to be like, well, if we turn around this way, it becomes like a vault door or something. Like there was some very intricate reason she was designing it like this. Like I think it was supposed to be a vault or something.
It
It's from the
does
temple.
feel like you could open that and step through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuck says
That's
it's from
help.
temples in India.
There you go. This little lockbox here, the Artificer's box, also from Dungeon of Doom. Little tiny gears on every side. Writhing bodies. Yeah.
We like to keep the writhing to the serpents.
Yeah.
That's where we.
We draw the line.
That's where we.
So you get four writhing serpents on the floor. It's okay. Once you get
Hard to make the pitch of our terrain being like heirloom pieces your kids can play with. We're not staying family friendly.
My favorite part of that story though is after Sino was like,
just for me.
Oh my God.
For the personal archive, yes.
Oh
no.
And then in the top here we have the Demon's Maw, which is the After Dark collection. So this was her big final piece in Dungeons Reforged, and was harkening back to that kind of orc mouth piece from Wicked Editions, and trying to be a tip of the hat to Tomb of Horrors and kind of the old school vibe, and such a neat, such a fun evocative piece with her. She had the eyes line up with the LEDs on the light puck, so you could get light to the eyes as well as, of course, to the portal itself. And the base, right? She took a existing door wall. Let's pop that. She took the existing door wall and recast it and sculpted up on that so that it could then, this can then take your city builder pieces or your regular double door arch, as well as the Demon's Maw. And then, of course, the Demon's Maw can then interchange with any of your city builder stuff, or your regular double door. So let's get a very weird, specific piece, trying to give it as many homes as possible and make the whole thing as useful as possible. And of course, pull accessories so you can swap it out and the like. And it takes all the double doors, and just trying to give you as many ways to use the thing as possible, and give you a toolbox that would incite some stories in your mind. Yeah, she really knew how to just crush it each time. All right, so that was a great sampling of kind of castles and dungeon and Caverns Deep bits. Let's go look at the last bit, which is wilderness. So we should roll the giveaway,
first
right?
let's roll the giveaway. All right, so let's see.
Oh yeah, forgot the back of the maw.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we got some writhing bodies. Okay.
That is pretty erotic.
Weird flesh, like this flesh pit, something. Once again, she's like, well, if you turn this around backwards, can we give it a different look? So now you can use that same piece for something else that's going to give you a different effect. And mission accomplished. Like, just trying to give you as many options as possible. So good, the old flesh holes.
Thanks. I hate it.
Oh.
So
It's this roll, yeah. So this is, and it'll be funny enough, we've got the Moonlit Arches on the other side here. so you can see what we're doing.
So first, let's roll and see. Let's roll and see who gets it before we show you
Yeah, what you
what
got?
you get. We have 69 entries.
Woo!
So that
Nice.
seems fitting.
That seems fitting.
All right, gonna roll it now. Rabbit burner.
Hey! Congrats,
All right.
Rabbit.
We're charging you extra.
Yeah. You're gonna make you pay.
I think it's only fair.
Congratulations.
The best part is Rabbit said it's so nice of you to include international folks, and then he got it. Like, it's the best.
I was wondering if we were going to get somebody international. I was kind of hoping we would get somebody international just so we wouldn't have to worry about it. But this feels appropriate.
It feels perfect.
Rabbit says, "Reroll, please. I do already have one. Are you sure?
Really?
Did you already?
You know, that feels very Rabbit-like,
Feels
very sporting.
Yes, it was Rabbit says yes.
He says it. Oh, that came after. Okay. All right. All right. Then we will do that. We'll use a luck point.
A luck point.
Yeah. Arctic Wolf 1.
Congrats, Arctic Wolf.
Congratulations, Arctic Wolf 1.
Way better than the sequel.
Arctic Wolf 2 is where it really went off the.
Arctic Wolf 2.
Yeah.
2 wolves.
Yeah.
Congrats, Arctic Wolf. You owe Rabbit a drink.
Let's see. So I'm sending you a whisper on Discord right now. If you're not able to respond to the private messages not on Discord, on Twitch. If you're not able to respond to the private messages on here, sometimes people can't. You can reach out to me on Discord if you're there, or just contact customer support or something, and we will figure it out. But I just sent you a whisper on
Rabbit
on
really
Twitch.
is an OG for that.
Yes. We appreciate it, Rabbit.
Yeah, that's really really kind of you. It was the same at the beginning. Was it Neophoia? Someone else had sort of said they were going to sit it out
Neophoia was
too.
gonna sit it
Yeah.
out,
A few folks really just like, it's admirable.
Neophoia, I think, is the one who won the unruined Griffin statue prototypes from
Wow.
the Post Wildlands stream.
Wow.
I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
The giveaways with the friends we made along the way. You're giving away your friends, Charles? I love it.
Right.
All right, so this is a little taste of the ruins of Wildlands and the ruins. Turn that. Do not have the remote for the whatchamacallit's going bonkers. The
Light puck?
the reliquary is like,
reliquary
is
goes
going
in his
nuts.
mind.
So this is so starting out of the gate, we have this sort of some locals have tried to protect these ruins. They built up the thorn wall using Michelle's thorn wall. The thorn wall that was so sharp that cut her fingers while she was sculpting it.
Oh, you.
And
Turns out we have one right there.
fun. Speaking of Rabbit, one of the awesome things that she did here was Michelle sculpted in honor of Rabbit Burner. There's a little tiny rabbit in there in honor of Rabbit Burner, like these little tiny nods to the community to just, not necessary and absolutely what makes it special. Right, just trying to put that extra little bit in there. The arch has her the gate that she made in Caverns Deep, right, where she covered us with all sorts of cool skulls hanging off. Well, it fits so well in this arch. And then a fun gag over here. I don't know if Eli, I can't remember whose sculptor were we. I don't know if Eli sculpted this or Michelle sculpted this. This was the patch of the heck was it called? The Brangle Patch or whatever from the original Wildlands.
That's the piece that
It was it was Dread Hollow. Yeah, it was before. So I was using that to cover. There's a wall with a hole in it, so I was using that to cover it up, so it could be a little something you could discover. Oh, buried the lead here too. Look what we have under here. To put in the cattail prototypes.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like now we have to figure out a way to make the cattails. So she did this really beautiful.
It's one of the first things that came to mind. We were just thinking of like what would be just a good way to.
It's such a cool piece that people know about. Yeah, the great little cattails there. So on the back we have.
Eli's saying that he didn't do the bramble patch.
So then I think she did it. Then I guess. So we have the Ruins Calentier using the reliquaries, right? She did these beautiful elven reliquaries in the style of the Ruins of Calentier, so we could do just like this, sort of use them all together. And then I put her little her fairy ring inside there, the mushroom ring. It felt like a cool magical spot to pop that in there. As well as this was the LED piece she made in Caverns Deep, the cool mask, and this was another storytelling thing. She put there's a club, and I feel like there was a mug and a club. It was something like she designed some ritual around like what happens on this thing. There's a mask and a patchwork bit and a saber-tooth tiger skull inverted to hold the flame. So she sort of designed like a whole little story around like, what would this thing be used for and what was it built from? So many great little Michelle details. Over here, using the Ruins of Calentier in conjunction with the Mystic Crescent, which was the hero piece from the Reliquaries. And this, I'm going to totally not do it justice. I can't remember what it is. Maybe Chuck, you will remember this. There is a story. So she did a story of the two young lovers around the. See if I can even zoom in close enough to see it. It is. Let's see. I think it starts here with he's like serenading her with his lyre, right? He's got his harp or whatever. He's like serenading her, and then the two of them like elope into the woods. And then they're married, or it looks like the parents are sort of forsaking them here or something. I'm not entirely sure. And then people are like going about their business in town. I don't know what happens in this panel. And then they're like sat in the throne. I'm so sad that I didn't write down. She had a story. There was like a very specific, distinct story for the panels all the way around, but it's this amazing little bas-relief story that goes around the 5 panels.
And Gilded Poison says she thinks she remembers you telling the story on the Reliquary stream, and I think that is true.
Yeah.
I think on the Sculptor stream from Reliquaries.
We have to look it up.
Yeah.
This is my favorite piece that Dwarven Forge has ever made. One, I just adore it, and I always thought the pictures always reminded me of some of my favorite art from the Pentacle suit of the tarot deck. There's the thing that it just reminded me of that, and I always loved that. Especially like
that wouldn't surprise me. That's
the Ten of Pentacles, specifically it always reminds me of that. But also, I go to a handful of the conventions we go to, and whenever I'm talking to people at the booth, and I get talking about our pieces and our sculptors and how much I love working with our sculptors, that is the piece I grab to show them. I need to gush about how much I love this piece and how incredible I think our sculptors are and what incredible work Michelle does.
I bet it resonates for them.
I mean, you can't look at that and not understand how much went into it. Like
the detail, the thought, the storytelling, all of it.
It's so clearly not like a quickly mass produced general market. It's not like
spending a lot of
product,
time trying to make something that was distinctly unique and special, and told a story. This wyvern skull, she took Crystal Sully's art, and then I think Crystal actually even sketched out a skull early on, and so Michelle could then do a skull sculpt to match the wyvern from Wildlands, so that it would be accurate, because it's got 6 eye holes, because it's got 6 eyes. It's a fun bit. The working our way up towards the Moonlit Arch here, the griffin statues, these are inspired by a griffin statue that they have in their house, which is really neat. So once again, I feel like half the things that she sculpted is just stuff like looking around the house. So she wanted to draw from anything that she could help make the thing feel more real. You know, I think she was always looking for great references and stuff to try and ground the fantasy in reality. And using these prisms, right? She really liked, again, chains and gems and prisms, like adding these additive bits that could give a little bit of sparkle, give a little bit of life, give a little bit of extra little magic in there. And then in the sort of the back here is the Threshold of Worlds with a light puck behind it. And this was her big final piece that she sculpted in Wildlands, and it was a real just victory lap. It was a chance to just make the coolest ruins piece you can. Like, there's kind of no limits, because it was going to be cast in resin, so we didn't have to worry about the cost of the mold or anything. It was just sort of like, go nuts with everything you did in ruins, and she really did, and worked hard to make make it modular, make this cool little tree with a snake, so you could pop that in or out to give it more variety. And like Eli did in his build, the top is freestanding, so you could put that anywhere. And of course, she sculpted the back too, right? The whole thing. And there's no dead side of the feet, but like just with every inch of detail that she could. And then this, you can put the Codex Vault from the Oracle Pool fits in there also. And of course, this was the relic for the reliquaries that we never made yet, the Lotus of Kelantir that she sculpted. So it's yet another one we have in the archive that we have to dig out. So I think that's a pretty good summary of Michelle's work, right? We got kind of everything from city through dungeon through wilderness, and we didn't hit all the pieces, right? There's a bunch of
It's impossible to hit
a bunch of pieces we didn't.
207 apparently.
Wow.
I think that's what I saw earlier. Chuck put it on the thing. I think it was 207. I think.
Oh. But what unifies all these pieces is she was striving to make them as special as possible, and she infused joy in all of them, right? She just put so much love into each piece, and ultimately she was doing it for you guys, right? She really wanted these pieces to be a thing that you felt was worth it. When you got it, it felt special. It sparked a story, it sparked joy. And I think she accomplished the mission 207 times.
Yeah.
And then some, right? We have another dozen something pieces or so that will come out over the next few campaigns or wherever. I don't know exactly how they're all going to come out, but her legacy will live on. So really, I thank you all for the amount of, over the years, the amount of just love and appreciation that you gave back to her, right? All the nice notes that you put on the forums and on Discord, and when you got to see her at Gen Con, you pass it along or emailed in to customer support. We have customer support will share when people send in nice notes. They'll put it up in Slack to share for us, and that really is, is the fuel that helps keep us going. Is hearing how the stuff affects you. Because that is the goal, right? We're doing what we love, and we're trying to make sure you feel it, and you get excited to get it out on the table and use it and do builds like this and tell stories with your loved ones. So that is how you can honor Michelle's legacy: is use these pieces, enjoy them, and remember all the whatever you're doing, see if you can channel some of that joy, the same joy that she was able to channel for years and years and years into whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think the when we got to go to her in Chuck's house for a bit to film documentary stuff for Reliquaries, the thing that was just so striking was that house was so, it was just filled to the brim with everything they liked. And there was no
Every wall is
there was
joy.
no putting on a show about anything. There was no trying to be anything. It was just they were completely genuine. Like she was
Yeah.
an artist and a gamer and lived that so fully. And there was no ego to it. There was no shame. It was just incredibly pure. It was hard not to be.
Yeah.
It was hard not to be just. It was a blessing to be around.
She was an inspiration.
Yeah.
And I really hope if you take anything away today, it's be inspired to find the joy, right? Channel the joy in life. Or just play with your toys,
Yeah.
right? Like, that works too. Oh. Well, I managed to hold it together tonight, so I'm proud of myself for that. So we really appreciate all of you, and thank you, Eli, for putting together a build, and thank you, Letitia, for putting together all these wrappers, and thank you, Toby, for putting together a build, and thank you, Miles, for sharing your tales. And once again, thank all of you for sharing in her joy and helping continue, making her time while she was here so worthwhile and creating such an unbelievable legacy. Well,
All right.
and next week we'll be back with like a more regular episode. We'll be looking at some perilous stuff. We'll talk about Dungeons and Reforged and Sinister plans, and who knows what else. But thanks for running through it. And thanks for Rabbit. Thanks for sitting out the Moonlit Arch because you already had one. But just such the spirit. Really felt like we had the spirit of Michelle here tonight.
Yeah.
Across the boards. And thank you all for all the kind comments and putting in, taking the time to watch and sharing all this.
All right.
Whew.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. I guess. Yeah. Bye. We good? We're good. All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next week.